madness. This is Sparta!
Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Barb has been one of the weakest classes in Diablo 4 for almost a full year now. But finally, it looks like true change is coming to the class in Season 11. So let's talk about it. The Barbarian is getting huge buffs. Skills are getting reworked. The technique slot finally gets fixed to work with the rank 10 effects. Mythic uniques are getting juiced up. And this is going to specifically balance the Barb because you can wear a lot of the mythics, and new uniques for brawling, leap, charge are getting introduced to make the Barbarian great again. And today I want to show you some of the OP builds that we've been cooking up for the PTR test that is starting tomorrow on Tuesday here. So let's jump into it, guys. I already have a baseline tier list draft. Obviously, this is like a lot of cope, guys. We have to play it, and everything is going to change probably anyways, but this is what we came up with so far, and I have very high hopes for the Barb, man. There's a kick Barb with the new pants. There's a Hoda Barb that's finally back as well with the crazy Fury scaling that we get from Melted Heart. We have Mighty Throw still good. We have Charge Barb still being good. And just a ton of different builds here. Lunging Strike is also still insane. And we have updated the full planner here. I'm going to link all of those below here. Specifically, the best builds that I think are going to be dominating in the PTR. So the first one here is the Brawling This is Sparta Leonidas Kick Barbarian. They have fully juiced up kick and make it scale with Fury, make it base into a core skill, and a ton of more changes benefiting this build like crazy, such as these new strong pantalones here, the chain scourged mail here, casting a damaging brawling skill. And we have quite a few damaging brawling skills. First of all, many don't know, we have Ground Stomp that you can make into a brawling skill with a tactical Ground Stomp rune. So that's a damaging brawling skill because that's damage, and it's going to be a brawling skill. So Ground Stomp. Then we have Leap, and Leap is completely reworked to now scale with your attack speed. There's also a Leap Quake Dream that we're going to try on top of all this. So Leap is another one. And then Charge. You guys remember the Charge bar from Season 3 being super cool. That's also another one. And then Kick itself. So we have 4 damaging brawling skills. And that means we're already going to get a 400% X multiplier for all the brawling skills. And we're going to get cooldown reduction instantly for all of them. And then on top of this, the kick is double scaling with Fury because we get a ton of damage from the kick itself because now it's a multiplier. They changed this in the patch notes here. If you read the Barbarian part here and we're going to search for kick, you see the base damage has been buffed from kick. The AoE is crazy. They buffed Mighty Kick as well. And here they make it scale 25x per 20 Fury spent. And we're going to get a ton of Fury from the Melted Heart of Selig, which is now scaling based on your main stat. And Barbarian, my friends, is a mutant. He has 4 hands. So he has 4 weapons. So you can get a bunch of main stat on the Barb itself. And Barb also has a lot of ways to generate Fury. He becomes very angry, and he generates a lot of Fury. So we have multi-scaling with Strength, multi-scaling with Fury, and we can also combine all this as a quadruple dip with Ramalatni Magnum Opus, which is also going to give you 0.5% damage per point of Fury, which makes it completely insane. And gonna give you a crazy big multiplier with multiple magnitudes. And we can do a kick Barb, that's double scaling. We can do a charge Barb, we can do a lead Barb. So I focused mainly on kick because kick has been buffed the most, and kick has a double Fury scaling, right? With Ramalatni and also with the kick itself, again, from the patch notes here, buffed like crazy, 25x per 20 Fury. And if my math is correct here, it looks like with the Melted Heart, you can reach something alongside 15 to 20,000 Fury. And that is a lot of damage, guys. It's going to be completely crazy. And we also have many different ways to generate the Fury. And there is a pretty crazy mechanic here with the Altkin, the Cursed Child Mercenary. If you're looking at this here, there is an ability here called Ember's Gift, where you restore % of your primary resource. I'll show this to you here in the game right now. Bob's certainly the coolest looking class, and you see this is like the small guy here. This is the guy that can turn into Diablo, and it has an ability, this Firestorm. We can kick it, and we can kick the kitty. Don't do that. And you can they can create a firestorm, and you see when it casts, this is the firestorm, and you see when the firestorm is active, how crazy fast my 300 fury generates. Like, it's completely insane, and it's all going to be multiplied with the melted heart. So you're getting 33% of 10,000 fury per second. This is also supposedly makes you immortal again with the melted heart. They changed this item so many times, but if you remember, the legacy versions of the melted heart already made our Barbarian completely immortal during the Abattoir of Zir back in Season 2. And they fixed it since, but now I think with this new mechanic and with this firestorm in the game, the Barbarian shall be reigning and being immortal once more on the PTR. That means completely unkillable. That's right. We also have an immortal Barb build right now in the Season 10. It also is completely unkillable. And I think we're going to get this again. And obviously, that might be pretty good for the leaderboard and the tower pushing if you can't die, especially because they made the monsters more dangerous. But the Barbarian, I don't think it can die. We'll see on the PTR. Maybe I'm going to eat my own words here. But with this Emperor's Gift, I don't see us dying ever. We'll see about the balance issues and stuff later. But right now, it looks extremely powerful on the kick barb side of things. And you get a ton of multipliers. You can see all this here. It's in the planner. I don't want to explain all the builds. I'm just going to show you what's possible. So that's the kick barb. And then you can also play this, as a charge barb for more speed runs. Charge barb is going to be pretty good as well, because charge also a broadening skill. But then I really want to focus on the Hoda Barb here. And the Hoda Barb has basically a very similar scaling with Melted Heart of Selig. Now we don't play the new Brawling Pants because Hoda is a core skill. And now we can play the rune again. And for those of you who enjoyed Season 2 and Abattoir of Zir, you might remember this. The Furious Hammer of the Ancients. It scales damage based on your fury for the Hammer of the Ancients. So we're going to be finally able to play the big bonks again. If we have 10,000 fury and we get 5% crit damage, which is a multiplier, and 5% crit chance for every 10 fury that we have, well, that's a lot of damage, right? Because you can see this here in the game. It says X. 5% X crit strike damage. That's insane. And 5% X crit chance. We're just going to be at 100% all the time. And that's basically how it looks. And then we can probably do the big Wang bonks again and just bonk some enemies and have some fun with the Hoda Barb. I think also being in S tier with high potential. So that's the other build here. And then we're obviously rocking the Ancestral Force. We're still doing Earthquakes because Hoda scales well with Earthquakes and stuff. And this is just another build here. I'm also going to link that below. So that's the Hoda Barb. That's also going to be insane. Then next here, I want to show you the Lunging Strike Barb. So Lunging Strike has been the S Barb build. I mean, Barb has been the weakest class this season as well as most of the other seasons this year. You see Barb is doing 122 pits and obviously Spiritborn is 100 times stronger than Barb. And even Sorcerer, Rogue, Necromancer are 3 times stronger than the best Barb build. But anyways, the best Barb build right now is Lunging Strike. And while we can't do this dual basic builds anymore because the Chaos Season Power perk is gone, but Lunging Strike already scales very well with Fury. And guess what? We have the Melted Heart also in this build. And Melted Heart is just completely insane right now. I'm not sure if this is going to exactly stay the way it is right now on the PTR. We'll test it. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but this just looks insane to me. So we're playing Ramalaldi, we're playing Melted Heart, we are playing Adaptability, and we're getting another triple scaling here with Lunging Strike, and we can combine this with Tybet's Will, we can combine this with Resourcefulness. It all depends on how this plus 3% resource per strength is going to scale in the end. We're still going to probably have, right now, a lot of Barbarian builds, I'm not sure this one, but a lot of Barb builds, they have 3, 4, maybe even 5,000 strength, and I still think we're going to have about 2.5, 3,000 main stat, even after the masterworking change. And keep in mind, guys, we're also going to be able to masterwork our weapons and increase the DPS, so we're not even going to lose that much damage from the masterwork being gone, because we're going to offset it a lot with the sanctification that I already made a video about, and we're going to offset it a lot with the increased weapon damage on our weapons. So I think Barb is going to eat extremely good, and you can basically just use this Lunging Strike with the quadruple scaling, Ramalatni's, Melted Heart, Adaptability, you're scaling Fury like crazy, and you're also generating it like crazy here. We're using the Lam Rune. You probably have a very good way, we need to test this on the PTR, combining Neo with Melted Heart, because you're not taking any damage to your life, so I think Neo should work. We will test it on the PTR. But either way, if Neo doesn't work, you're playing Igni or something, right? Like, doesn't matter. Like, there's a lot of different runes, but Neo is just crazy if it works. And then we combine this with Lam rune or something. And there's also some other aspects here. I think I'm playing this on the kick barb. There's like aspects in the game that we've never played. Look at this. This is the relentless arms master that is finally, I think, being viable when you're playing the walking arsenal here with the kick bar, because you have to switch through all your brawling skills with the pants. And when you're playing this aspect here, it looks like it's going to be increasing your fury generation 75% multiplicatively. And that is basically giving you 75% recovery for your melted heart shield. And that's going to be completely insane, and one of the ways to make the barb immortal. And it's very cool to see these aspects that I've never played this on the barb. And finally, it potentially is viable, right? Thanks to some great reworks here. And then also, guys, after 2.5 years of it not working, they finally fixed the technique slot. Like, in my opinion, I always had a big gripe with this. If you're looking at the technique slot right now, I think it's super misleading, especially for new players. I've been getting so many questions about this. So a new player, in my opinion, like, it reads this polearm expertise, right? And it says 15 lucky hit and 15x damage when healthy. And then you're looking at the technique slot. Okay, while you use any weapon, you get the technique slot's effect. But the thing is, if you choose then to have the polearm slot in the live game, it doesn't give you the 15 damage. It only gives you the lucky hit chance. And they are finally fixing it. So in Season 11, guys, we are not forced to play the axe expertise, because the axe expertise was the only useful technique slot ever since the game launched. It actually mind-boggling, they've never fixed it. I gave this feedback like 20 times. But finally, they fixed it, guys. And the way it works right now, you basically can choose you have the option to choose many different technique slots. So here, I think I'm playing 200 mace. 200 mace gives us 15x while we berserk, and it also gives us a fury while we berserk on lucky hit. And we will be attacking a lot with Hoda. We'll be attacking a lot with the kick here. And the technique slot is going to allow us to get not only 15x, but also going to get us fury. Or then in some other builds, we are actually taking I think the polearm technique slot in some of them. And here in this one here, for example, because Hoda is already attacking with a 200 mace. So here we are taking the polearm, which is going to give us lucky hit. And it's going to give us more damage while we're healthy. So there's like a ton of cool synergies now. Having this technique slot finally work. And I'm so happy about this. So yeah, the barb is eating good, guys. There is like also Mighty Throw that's still going to be crazy. Mighty Throw has like a potential to play 6 seconds now. Because they did change the Mighty Throw. They did change the Bane gloves here to give a bit less multiplier, but be able to have a 6 seconds rotation now. And Mighty Throw, I think, is going to be remaining one of the best builds. You're going to dual wield now. You're going to attack from Malatni. I also have a planner for that one. That is also going to be extremely powerful, but it's still going to be the rotation playstyle that so many people, including me, don't really like that much. But it's out there, and if you're dual wielding the Mighty Throw and with Fury scaling, it's still going to be a pretty crazy. And then there's a ton of other builds here. I'm going to probably make a video tomorrow about like other OP builds and other classes. Like, this is going to be a lot of work in progress, but I'm going to link this sheet below, as well as all the bar builds. And then one more thing, guys. I think we should definitely like wait before we draw too crazy conclusions to actually test it. Like, I'm just telling you this is what I plan, and I want to be well prepared because PTR is only for 7 days, and 7 days is not a lot of time. I want to test like way more than just the Barb class, but I'm going to start on the Barb class because that's the class I like the most, and it's finally viable again. But people are already calling for nerfs, for stuff they haven't even seen or tested. So people are already like angry about this. It's like the history as old as Diablo 4, where people are angry that the Barbarian has 4 hands, and people already calling, it's unfair because Barbarian has potential of doing the sanctification. I made a video about how that works yesterday. I'll link that below as well. Because Barbarian has more item slots. You have 3 more item slots than the average class, and thus you can potentially also sanctify 3 more item slots. And people already like, you know, are gonna be like pretty angry about this. Barbarian seems crazy, it's unfair, damage needs to be contained, blah, blah, blah. And there's like a lot of this stuff. And I think like, let's just wait and test it on the PTR. Especially this guy is just assuming that everybody has perfect gear and gets to hit the sanctification on all of the weapon slots, on everything. And 24 legendary powers. And also what this guy is completely forgetting, that the Barbarian, because it has 4 weapons, is also gonna lose 4 times the tempers that other classes don't. Barbarian, for example, has tempered, like, you know, a big aspect or a big temper on all 4 weapons. And that's gonna disappear. So you're not gonna be able to have this, like, I don't know, like 15, 20 ranks to heavy hitter, or there's 20 ranks to wallop, which makes the damage like pretty crazy. This all not gonna exist anymore because the master working is very different. So you're not gonna get, and you're also gonna lose a ton of main stat, right? Like you're not gonna be able to, like, you know, hit the strength or like, you know, get all these crazy stats. So the stats are gonna go way down for the Barb because other classes, they lose 1 weapon masterwork stats. But Barbarian, like additive, tempers, main stat, is gonna lose 4 weapon main stats, right? And it's getting the sanctification in place of this, right? And you can argue now which one's stronger. But the sanctification is also going to take forever to achieve this in the real game. So I think we need to be like a bit careful. And also like looking at the Barb's track history. Like, you know, 2 years ago, Barbarian was strong. But recently, guys, I think most of you can discuss in the comments, but I think most of you would agree that the Barb had it pretty rough. Like, I didn't even play that much Barb because, like, I like to have a power fantasy. I mean, I played Barb, but I didn't start with the Barb because the Barbarian, as you can see here right now, is the weakest class in the game by a significant margin. And we're playing an ARPG. And nobody really plays an ARPG to play like the worst class or to play like the weakest class. Like, I feel like that's just not me. Like, I like to be strong. I like to be powerful. I like to play like, you know, what's fun, and what's fun is what's powerful to me. So I don't blame anyone like not playing like you know, like one class only. And I think it's like very cool, and it's gonna give a lot of longevity to the game to try out and play different classes. So whenever, like, you know, for example, like next year or something, when we get the new expansion and we potentially get a new class, like I would like love to play the new class and give it a shot just as much as I like to play Spiritborn when the Vessel of Hatred came out, right? I don't think it's like I didn't betray the Barbarian. It's just like Barb has been weak for so long, and I'm finally happy to see our guy, our boy, the Barb, being strong again. And I'm very much looking forward to test it. And let's not call for the nerfs before we even see it on the PTR. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Barbnation strong again. Let's go. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.